Hello, viewers. Welcome to Football Discussion Daily. My name is CGO. Today, we'll be talking about the results of games played on June 13 at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Please, this video will be released on June 14. Please endeavor to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on our social media platform, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and other platforms. Today, we'll talk about the games played. Qatar surprisingly got their first ever point at the FIFA World Cup. It was a game that surprised everyone. They played a 1-1 draw against favorite for that game, Switzerland. It was a very big surprise. We also had in the second game, Brazil getting a 1-1 draw against Morocco. In the third game, it was the Scottish getting victory against Haiti. Haiti making their second appearance at the World Cup since 1974. But they put up a good performance, they put up a good fight, but it ended 1-0 in favor of Scotland. And then we had the Australians surprising everyone, very, very tactical in their approach in that game against Turkey. They defeated Turkey 2-0 in their match. So it was a very, very surprising event that happened on June 13th. We'll be analyzing each of these games on this podcast. And now, in the game between Qatar and Switzerland, it was really something that wasn't really expected because everyone expected Switzerland to win this game. That game took place at the Leverage Stadium in Santa Clara in California. The Swiss team dominated the game. They were fully in control of the game from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. They were in charge. They had several scoring opportunities. The Swiss team got a penalty in the first half, which was converted by Bril Mbelo. He scored a penalty, and that was in the 17th minute. And they had several opportunities. When you look at the ball possession, Swiss had over 70% possession. The Qataris, the ball possession they had was less than 30%. In fact, the way the game was going, one would think that Switzerland should have won at least by more than 2 goals because the opportunity kept coming. But the culprits, when it comes to the wasteful opportunities from the Swiss, were the players were Brill and Bello, and then we also had Vegas, who was also very wasteful in front of goal. That's Ruben Vargas. He had a very good game because he tormented the Qatari defense throughout the game. He was very, very efficient, especially at the left flank. But at the end of the day, football is about putting the ball at the back of the net. He couldn't take the chance that came to him. Same thing applies to Mbelo. So at the end of the day, the wastefulness from the Swiss team affected their performance because it was a full dominance. But wastefulness, when it comes to putting the ball at the back of the net, was what really messed them up. So they lacked that clinical edge in this game, and that really affected them a lot. But credit must also go to the Qatari goalkeeper. He was very, very good in this game. That is Mahmoud Abunada. Abunada was very good, made a lot of saves to keep his team in the game because if not for some of the saves he made, probably the Swiss would have really had it so easy in this encounter. The Swiss team, they really have a lot to do. Murat Yakin's men has to really improve. They would have won this game if they were clinical enough. Then we must also give credit to uh, former Spain manager, that is Julian Lopetegui, for really um, giving his players that mentality that they could still get something uh, positive in that game. Because when you are literally just by a lone goal, it means you also stand a chance of getting victory. So he, since the Swiss didn't take advantage of the opportunity that came their way, they gave the Qataris the belief that they could still get into the game. And that was what eventually happened. And the Qataris got that equalizer in the 94th minute, and that was the end of it. So a very sad one for the Swiss. They played well, dominated the game, but they were not clinical up front, and they paid dearly for it. And congratulations to Qatar for getting their first ever point at the FIFA World Cup. That is a good one for them. This is their second appearance, and they were able to achieve that feat. So in that group, everybody has a point each in the group. So this it's going to be a very interesting one for Qatar, Switzerland, Canada, and also that is Bosnia Herzegovina. So it promises to be a very interesting one. So we'll talk about the next game, which was between Brazil and Morocco. Ismail Saibari opened scoring for Morocco in the 21st minute with a very beautiful pass from Brian Diaz. Brian Diaz gave a wonderful pass, a true ball that Ismail Saibari was able to make a run and then shipped it over Alison Becker, who was rushing to come and see if he could stop Saibari. But I love the composure of Ismail Saibari. He had that opportunity, was very calm, and he chipped it over Alison Becker. And the Moroccans the edge. In fact, at the beginning of the game, the Brazilians look a bit disjointed. The team lacked stability, and credit must go to the midfield. That is the midfielders of the Moroccans. I think the 18-year-old Ayub Boadi was very exceptional in this game. He did so well. It was very surprising that the 18-year-old player will come to this World Cup and really box the midfield because he had a very good game. I was so impressed with the way the young man played in this encounter. So it was a very good one. He overpowered players like Casimiro, Guimares in the midfield. So that was one player that I singled out in the Moroccan team that really gave the team lots of stability. The Moroccans played better than the Brazilians in the first half, if we are to look at it critically. The Brazilians didn't live up to expectation. They lost a lot of possessions. Their passing wasn't impressive. The Brazilians could not, because we all know the Brazilians, when it comes to passing, they are very good. But in this game, they were losing possession. They couldn't make good passes. It wasn't the performance we really expected from the Brazilian. But we were fortunate that they had a player like Vinicius Jr., whose brilliance helped them at least to salvage a point in this game with that beautiful goal he scored in the 32nd minute of this game. That was a beautiful one from Vinicius Jr. An individual effort, even though he had a kind of passing exchange with Guimaraes. But his intelligence was what really made that goal to be scored because he was able to beat the Moroccan defender from the left flank, and he was able to shoot to the top corner of the net, and that was how the Brazilians got the equalizer. So it was a good one for Vinicius Junior. Very good goal. It was a very beautiful goal he scored. So I I was quite disappointed in the Brazilian team. Even though in the second half of the game, the coach had to bring in, I think, Fabinho, and then I think he brought in Danilo also immediately the second half was about to start. And that was able to help at least the team gain some possession control in the game. So one thing again is that the Brazilians, I wasn't impressed with their sharpness in the final third, in the final third of the pitch, and that was why Igo Thiago lacked service. Their creativity was not good enough. So these are areas they really need to improve on if they want to go far in this tournament. Yes, so that is it for the game between Brazil and Morocco. And then we'll talk about the third game of the day, which was between Haiti and Scotland. It ended 1-0 in favor of Scotland. Haiti really gave a good account of themselves. They were fearless. Their second World Cup appearance, they never approached the game like a team that was scared. So they played very well, attacked, came out to play against the Scottish. But kudos must go to John McGee, who plays for Aston Villa. A 28-minute deflected goal by him uh, gave the Scottish the victory. Uh, and this is their first victory at the World Cup since June 16, 1990, because the last time the Scottish won the game at the World Cup was in 1990. So this is their first victory. And then this is their first goal at the World Cup since 1998. So it's been a long time the Scottish scored a goal at the World Cup. In fact, the last time they were at the World Cup was in 1998, of course. So there's no way they would have scored any goal. So good one for the Scottish team. This victory takes them top of Group C, following the 1-1 draw between heavyweights Brazil and Morocco. So the Steve Clark squad are on top of that group at the moment. But I think they still have a lot of things to really improve on if they are to stand the firing powers of Brazil and Morocco in this group. But one of the biggest challenge Haiti had in this game is they were not. They have a lot of work to do, especially at the final third. A lot of misplaced passes were made, and then even when they had the opportunity, they were not clinical enough, and that was what really affected them. The likes of Wilson Isidore has a lot to do. They need to improve when it comes to converting chances that come their way. Even Piro was also, even though he was giving the Scottish defense lots of troubles, but he wasn't clinical. He had some opportunity that he would have converted, but he never did. They played well, but yeah, they have a lot of work to do in the final third. I was really impressed with their performance because I wasn't really expecting too much from them. But it came out very, very entertaining. Love the fluidity in their possession. It was so good. But their lack of finishing was what really messed them up in this game. So that was what really happened in the game between Haiti and Scotland. So we talk about the game between uh, um, Australia. Australia, they were very smart in this game because they played a low block. That game was played at the BC Place in Vancouver. Prior to this game, a lot of football aficionado felt most likely Turkey should have an edge in this game. But the Australians were very, very smart. Tony Popovich surprised everyone, even with his lineup. Everyone was expecting Ryan to be in goal, but the coach came in with a much younger goalkeeper. Instead of using the veteran goalkeeper Martin Ryan, I brought in 22-year-old Patrick Beach, who put up a very brilliant performance in this game. Even in the midfield, brought in a youthful player whose name is Paul Okon Exlaw, and over the regular veteran Jackson Heaven in that game. The Australians were very, very compact defensively. They played a low block because they know they can't go toe to toe with Turkey. If they had opened up, that would have been very, very difficult for them in that game. So they were very smart in the way they approached the game, and it worked out for them with the goals they were able to get in this game. I was very, very impressed with the way they approached the game. The likes of Adagula had lots of shots in this game, but that didn't really uh, uh, didn't get into the net. Some of them were saved by Patrick Page, goalkeeper of Australia, who was very, very outstanding in this game. In the 26th minute, we saw how Nestori Irakunda was able to uh, uh, cut off the defender of Turkey, and he smashed the ball into the net. And that goal made the Turkish team to be under more severe pressure. And then in the 74th minute, the Australians got the winning goal uh, by scoring through Connor Metcalf, who took a very low strike from 25 yards, and that gave the Australians victory in this game. So it was a very, very tactical smartness from the Australians. The approach they used really paid off for them, and then they were able to get a victory. But one thing we must say is that Nestori Irakunda is the youngest ever Australian who scored at the World Cup. So that was the outcome of the game. So what it means now is that US are first in the position. The Australians have same point, 3 points, but an inferior goal difference. So US has +3, Australia has +2. Turkey third, and then we have Paraguay fourth. So with this victory by the Australians, it means they have increased their chances of scaling through to the next round of this. So that is all that happened. You can also give us your thoughts on these games that were played. Please share our videos. Thank you very much for watching, and take good care. Bye for now.